even in all the cruelty and all of the chaos that was going on in that city, that was encircling the church in that city, the Spirit was still moving, still calling, and still calling on those that called on Jesus, inviting them. Can I say choosing them from wild and wily backgrounds, those from the streets and those from the academies, those raised with access to power and privilege, and those raised with the know-how to navigate life without it. The Spirit chose them all, calling them to follow the ways of God's Spirit, to be agents of hope and joy and resistance and rescue, to be proclaimers and displayers of God's kingdom. Saints, what if? What if in this season of disruption and chaos, in this moment of hardship and turmoil, what if the Spirit wants to move in our midst too? The Spirit moved in Antioch. With all that they were facing, I have to believe that the Spirit can move now and move among us as well. If the Spirit, even with destruction knocking on the door, was able to raise up and call up and empower those believers to move forward the church and God's kingdom, even in the midst of violently chaotic days, then why wouldn't the Spirit move now? I know it may sound naive at best, and it may even can sound callous at worst, and I think that you know my heart in all this, but saints, what if? What if? These are hard days for so many of you, frightening days even. Loss of jobs and livelihoods, entire industries that seem to have vanished with the dismissive stroke of a pen. Some of you are being placed in positions that are fraught with life and death decisions and ethical dilemmas that you should not be faced with. Surrounded by political and religious leaders in our nation bent on furthering agendas of violence, even as they put forward state-sanctioned oppression against the poor at home and around the world, and they bully and berate those advocating for justice and compassion. It can feel like those that are striving after God's kingdom and those that are trying to display love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and self-control, that they're being passed over and worse yet, being ground down. But the thing is, the Spirit has just never stopped by the presence of political strongmen, whether they be Caesars or Herods or presidents. And in the same way that the Spirit chose Simeon and Lucius and Manon, and in the same way that in the dead middle of so much uncertainty, the Spirit chose John Mark and Saul and Barnabas, choosing them, calling them to the work of showing the hurting world that another way is possible, a world whose hallmark is peace and joy and light. In the same way that the Spirit chose them, I got to believe the Spirit is choosing you right now.